Chef Lalanne, owner of the Canteen Bar and Grill in North Platte. Join us now for fabulous, unique, original recipes created by the chef.
Hi and welcome to Cooking with Chef Lalanne. Last week we did cream of mushroom soup. Today we're going to do cream of tomato soup, another one of my classic favorites. And we're going to use some fresh tomatoes from my garden. This is kind of a chunkier tomato soup here. We've got my tomatoes from my garden. I've just diced them up. We've got some tomato paste, mirepoix vegetables, carrots, celery, onion. We've got some fresh dill, and you can leave that in or out. It depends on if you like it. I like it, so we're going to add it to it today. We've got a little salt and pepper. We've got some tomato sauce, and we've got some chicken stock, and a little bit of roux, salt and pepper. Same sort of procedure as last week, and I'm going to show you how that's done. All right, we've got some whole butter melting in here. We're going to saute our mirepoix vegetables, starting with the onions and carrots and celery. And you can also, when this is done, you can also blend this soup if you want to make it really smooth and run it through a strainer. That's more the traditional way, but I like the nice chunks and pieces of vegetables in it. We want these to saute and get soft. They're going to take 2, 3, 4 minutes, 5 maybe tops. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add my fresh tomatoes. You can kind of give these a quick stir. If you don't like the seeds in them, you can concassate these, which is no problem. And then we're going to go ahead and add chicken stock and tomato sauce. And we're going to add maybe about half of that. Depends on how tomato you want this. Once this comes up to a boil, then we'll kind of take a look at it and see and season it with some tomato paste to see how rich we want this. All right, and as this is coming up too, we're going to go ahead and use pepper again. 10, 15, 20 grams, depending on how much you like. And just a little bit of salt. Again, we can adjust the salt at the end. Sometimes chicken stock will have a little bit. So we're just going to do a little bit while this comes up to a boil. All right, now we want a little bit extra richness in there. We're going to go ahead and add a couple tablespoons of tomato paste. Like I said, that'll give it some richness. We're going to let that come up. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and grab my whisk. We'll kind of whisk that in. I've already tasted for seasoning, which is doing pretty good. Again, we're using a roux, a blonde roux, equal parts of butter and flour by weight. And this is going to thicken this up. And we want to let this cook out about 4 or 5 minutes so it gets all the flour taste out of it. And then we're ready to finish this up. Now we've taken this off the heat. We're going to go ahead and thin this down with our heavy cream. Again, it's going to give it some beautiful richness. I can see a grilled cheese sandwich or something coming up. Man, this looks really good. All right, and just at the very end, if you like, if you don't like, you don't have to, a little bit of fresh dill. And this just makes it a little bit different. You can also serve this chilled, and it's just as good. All right, our soup is beautiful. The color is absolutely gorgeous. You can see all the fresh vegetables and the tomatoes still from my garden. You can see the dill in there. Looks beautiful. Just one more. There we go. I want to clean that up a little bit. Now, I like to garnish this, and we're going to use a little bit of sour cream right down in the center. Make that look really beautiful. Maybe a nice piece of fresh dill. We've got some French bread, a little bit of wine, maybe a Chardonnay. Can't go wrong. Just a little bit of Chardonnay. We're using a Robert Mondavi for this. Got a nice loaf of everything bread, which sounds really good with this, or a grilled cheese sandwich, maybe a little salad. And you've got a really great fall meal, very inexpensive to make, and it's a lot of fun. Hey, thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next week.
For Chef Lalanne recipes, go to knopnews2.com or send a self-addressed stamped envelope. Please join us again next Wednesday.